To keep his wife sexy and plump, a man would make her take a pill every day, sometimes even checking her mouth to make sure she swallowed it. Then he would go out to work. He would also call home at 2:30 p.m. every day to make sure his wife is home. On the surface, the man appears to be a control freak, but he's the one who's really being controlled. The real devil is his wife. Lisa was the only child of a wealthy family. The family had more money than they could spend in a couple of lifetimes, but a sudden fire took her parents' lives. Her boyfriend risked his life to save her. She was committed to a psychiatric hospital for her trauma. David even got a degree in psychiatry for her, and she was determined to marry David when she got out of the hospital. But it wasn't to be. In the years between her discharge and her marriage, a lot of terrible things happened, one of which involved a murder. So much so that the couple had to move several times to their current town. David got a job at a mental health facility. Lisa accompanied him to meet his boss on his first day. The secretary was just curious to see what the new leader looked like, but then she realized he was the same guy she'd met at the bar the night before. Annie thought it was a good thing nothing else happened. So this guy has such a good-looking wife. But what she didn't know was, she had already fallen into a vortex of horror. David saw that Lisa was doing well lately. David returned Lisa's cell phone and bank card to her. She was so happy. The money meant she could go out and spend it again. But David made a request. He said he'd be home late on business. He might even have to work on weekends. He asked Lisa if that was a problem. Lisa said, "You're doing this for the sake of your patients. I don't mind anything as long as you're a good person." That's what she said on her lips though. But then she started looking into the people around David. Annie had just finished dropping off her kids at school, but on her way back, she bumped into Lisa. Annie picked up Lisa and realized it was the leader's wife. She was shocked and said, "So it's you." Lisa pretended to be surprised and asked if we'd met before. Annie explained that she was David's secretary. She had seen a picture of Lisa and David in his office. She didn't want to talk to Lisa too much, but Lisa invited her for a cup of coffee. Annie reluctantly sat down. Lisa asked her a lot of questions about David's work. She also told her that her family had a lot of money. Her job was to be a good rich woman. Annie didn't want to be friends with Lisa, but Lisa's words were too much for her to refuse. Annie went along into the deep end without realizing it. Out of courtesy, she introduced herself. Divorced for 2 years, with a 3-year-old son, she accidentally told her that she was a nocturnal sleepwalker. Lisa was immediately interested because she refined the ability to control her dreams during her stay at the insane asylum. She began to recognize Annie as one of the same. On her way out, Lisa asked Annie if she wouldn't tell David about their encounter, and her explanation for this was that David didn't like mixing work and life, and Annie happily agreed. Lisa returned home in a happy mood. Thinking of Annie reminded her of a deceased patient. She hummed a little song as she painted. Soon she had a painting of a forest on the wall. David's face changed when he came home and saw the painting. Because of the evidence of murder hidden in this painting,